Hey, what is going on, everybody out there? This is Jakejames Lugo, senior editor here at thekoalition.com, and welcome to a brand new episode of TK Spotlight, where I bring on phenomenal individuals from throughout the gaming industry and the various corners of the internet, and we talk about the good that they've done through their craft, as well as a whole bunch of other cool stuff. So today, my guest on the show is Zeus Tipado, who is the founder of The Stoned Gamer, as well as also Middle Easy. So, Zeus, welcome to the show. How's it going? What's happening?
Hey, what's up, man? How's everybody out there?
Everybody's good.
Stoned, hopefully.
Oh, me, I'm not stoned. I'm good. I'm chill, like over here. But I'm pretty sure, like.
Speak for yourself, then.
But either way, brought you onto the show to talk a little bit about Stoned Gamer. We're going to talk a little bit about cannabis as well, and talk about some game stuff. So, tell me, what is exactly the Stoned Gamer? Like, what is, like, you know, the elevator pitch idea for people out there that don't know what that is exactly?
Stoned Gamer. Well, quite frankly, it is what it implies. There's an entire culture of people out there that get high prior to, you know, playing anything, whether it's like PC, like to get high and to play something it's a completely different experience than, you know, just being like, I guess, straight, or not straight like orientation wise, but like not high, you know,
sober.
Sober, yeah, well, there you go, sober. But it almost feels like every person's on something, you know, whether it's like Prozac or whether it's like some type of like cholesterol blocker, or like, you know, we're all hooked on something. We're all on something, whether it's like coffee or alcohol. Like, we all kind of choose our own device. But for us, you know, cannabis is that, you know, that thing to kind of bring us over to a different playing field, I guess you want to call it. Mm-hmm. And to be high and to like play anything it's a fantastic experience. It's truly unlike anything anyone could ever imagine. And I'm kind of like selling it. I totally understand.
I mean, picking it up a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. But to be stoned and to experience like creativity, it seems like you can connect with that person easier. That person who like built, you know, whatever game you're playing or whatever VR experience you're having. You know, to be high, it almost bridges that creative, creative connection that we all have, that like, I guess, if you know, you like want to call it consciousness, or you know, some type of like plane of existence. But when you're high, when you're high on cannabis, or whether it's like shrooms, or you can even go into like LSD, but being high and connecting with that creative approach of someone else, it's just a intangible like connection that you really can't like, you know, you can't really replicate with like anything else.
So let me ask you this then. What exactly do you guys do at the Stoned Gamer? Now, we were talking a little bit before, and I did a little bit of research prior to you being on the show, that you guys host various gaming tournaments. You guys have done 16.
Stoned Gamer tournaments. Yes. Mm-hmm. Our first one happened in October. I think it was October 3rd was our first tournament. It was
last year.
No, actually it was 2015.
2015.
Yeah, it was October 3rd, 2015, and that was the first Stone tournament ever in the history of the entire planet.
So what happens there? I mean, like, does everybody play the tournament getting high, or does like the winner get like a giant stash of marijuana? What exactly happens?
Well, I mean, really all of that, to be quite
all on the board.
Yeah, like it's all on the board. Yeah, we get like really high, man. We get super high, and that's kind of the thing that like separates us from other people, is that we embrace getting high. Like, getting high isn't a detriment to our gameplay abilities. No, it actually helps us. So that's like what you do. We all get high, whether it's like extracts or bong hits, or even like, you know, edibles. You know, we choose to get high, and as high as possible, and then once that happens, the tournament begins. You know, so the first tournament in October of 2015, we had 5 offerings. We had like your basic like FIFA, NBA 2K, Madden. I think we had MVC 2, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and we had Mortal Kombat X, I think. I'm pretty sure we had,
not the new edition went round.
Not the new edition, not XL, but yeah, X. So we had all of those, and we played them, and it was fantastic. It was great. We got high. We got, you know, and of course, it was our first time really kind of like, you know, doing this. We didn't really know what to expect. We didn't really know if people were going to like freak out. We didn't know how, if anyone would even show up, you know. But, you know, we definitely had a pretty good crowd. We had a couple fighters come through, UFC dudes. They played. We had, you know, hip-hop artists come to, like, play. And it was a fun time. And I'm pretty sure there's clips of that tournament on the internet somewhere, probably on, I don't know, somewhere, probably like on Instagram. But
or on YouTube.
Yeah. YouTube probably. So that was our first one, and it was such a success. And we had 3 arcades, like custom built arcades. We had, like, you know, of course they were like emulated with like everything, you know, like from Atari to like PlayStation and like beyond and like everything in between.
So everybody, so let me ask this, like everybody gets high at that point, then you guys start the competition and stuff, and then that you do it like in a normal type of like tournament setting, and then obviously you get the winner and whatever prizes get put out to all the different top 3. Am I guessing?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So our first tournament, like I said, it was a truly it was experimental. We didn't know what to expect, you know. So it was kind of like ham-handed, but we got through everything. We were battling like wind, rain. Our entire like inflatable gamer castle collapsed. It was outside. It collapsed because like the rain was like hitting us, and like arcades got like doused with like rain, and our Xbox.
Was there a lot of damages? Like overall, like there was a lot of damages. Like people had to pay for that, obviously.
I had to pay for it, but it was,
you had to take care of the bill.
I had to take care of the bill, yeah. But I think the only thing that was damaged was a single Xbox, which was like we couldn't like fix it. Like everything else, it was just a issue of just you know, cleaning it off, you know, reassembling it or you know, but the Xbox was donezo, man. It was finished.
So let me ask you this, because I'm curious about the reception afterwards. And then obviously you've done about 16 of these now at this point. But
I've done like about I've done about 35 because we did 2 seasons, 2016 and 2017.
So it's about 35 different tournaments in total, like that. What was the reception, you know, after the first couple, you know, with the general public or even just the media or just out there, you know, people hear like, you know, a bunch of gamers getting together, getting really, really high and just straight up playing video games for prizes and stuff. Obviously, people are going to feel a certain way here or there. I mean, was there any backlash or was there a warm reception overall?
No, man, it was, you know, it was super interesting, man. The first tournament we had, it like kind of like went everywhere in the cannabis scene. Like the whole cannabis scene, that's all they could like talk about was this like stone, you know, tournament. The stone tournament that was held. The first one was in October, and then after that was December. Those were our first 2, but it blew up in the cannabis scene. But the gaming scene, you didn't really hear anything about it. Like the eSports scene, you know, people really didn't talk about it because I think the thing is it was seen as a success. Okay, yes, but it was seen as initially it was seen as an absurd success. Like how can this thing even like a fluke? Yeah, like well even a fluke or like something so absurd that it just kind of like caught on. But you know, or the first event was just a glitch in the reality matrix or whatever you want to call it. but no, and so the first one was a success. It was huge in the cannabis scene, and then our second one, since the first one was so big, the second one was even bigger. So the second one we had was in December, and the first one we had like 3 arcades. This one we had like 12 arcades. 3 Xboxes, we had like 15 TVs, and it was all like outside, and we had these like huge inflatable castles, and it was big, massive. We had like
50
Cent came over, or yeah, 50
that was
Cent came
that was gonna
over.
be my next question. Is like, okay, because you mentioned celebrities coming in, and I was kind of curious to see like which type of celebrities, especially in that music industry, had come out. You mentioned 50 Cent was like Snoop Dogg.
We had Captain America, the guy who plays Captain America. He
Chris
came
Evans?
through. Yeah, he came through. We also had 50 Cent. He came through. Be Real came through. The Diaz brothers came through. We had a couple. There was this. Oh, we had John Gordon Levitt's.
Was it Jordan Gordon Levitt, the guy from Batman: The Dark Knight Rises?
Yes. Sorry, I butchered your first and last name, but he came over and he really liked it, and so that like second one happened. That was in California in December of 2015. And that was cool because that's when we actually had press. People were like, talking to me, interviewing us, like taking pictures, putting it on their Instagram. We got a lot of good footage, and
word spread out fast, basically.
The word spread really fast after that, so which was awesome. Like we had so much energy going after that one. But the problem was that like it was too big. Like I couldn't facilitate the entire logistics to do that over and over and over again. I couldn't just have one big, huge event every single time. So then that's kind of when the whole season kind of like came in, where we have 16 qualifiers, and those events aren't that big. They're, in 2016 we had 16. And the 4 from each went on to the big one that we had in December, and that was our big, huge, championship event. But those other events, so I figured out that if we have 16 tinier events to add up to one huge event, then we have all these events everywhere across like California, Vegas, just everywhere. Just kind of pepper the entire area out. Don't like dump a bunch of pepper in like a single area, but just pepper a bit out, a bit over here, a bit over there, and then all of a sudden the whole thing would be like activated. And that's kind of what like happened. I took this took this and I just brought it to different areas of California, and that's kind of how the whole season concept came to play. And then our big one, out of like after all those are done, all those qualifiers are done, our big one is in December, and it's always in December, and we take the 4 qualified players of each of the 16 tournaments, and then we have them to the for the big one, the big grand finale tournament, and that's where all the action happens. That's where we have.
What is it that people are competing for? Like, what's the prize that everybody's going for in that big tournament?
So in 2016, we had a contract to be a professional player, a professional gamer. We had a agency come in, and they were going to basically like rep the player. We had I think like 10 pounds of weed, which
that's a lot of weed.
Easy.
That's a lot of weed.
That's a lot of weed. 10 pounds of herb, which is
that's
fantastic.
A very big bag for people that don't know. That's a very big bag.
10 pounds. So all right, 10 pounds of herb, guys, is about your entire bathtub filled with herb. Like
that's like a ridiculous high.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. You could like take all that and make one huge blunt and like get half of like LA high, basically, But so and they also got that, and then they got we gave them their own arcade, which was kind of the arcades that we kind of build ourselves. It's filled with everything from PlayStation to Game Boy, emulated arcade, which is like awesome to have. And they get the Bling, and the Bling is our like blinged out trophy. We have a trophy that's a giant Bling piece. And
it's just called the Bling. It's just a giant like gold trophy.
Bling. It's a giant trophy that hangs around your neck like friggin' Flavor Flav or something, dude. It's awesome. But people dig it. People dig that, and so we like had that, and it was awesome, dude. The grand finale was so dope. I'm telling you, there's video of it. You can like link the YouTube. I'm sure you've already linked it in this episode, but you can like see the whole thing. And then the crazy thing about all this is that after all this happened, this dude just like swept this other guy in the grand finale, just swept him, man. It was best of 5, and he just beat him 3-0, just dominated him, right? And so this dude got on, I think he was on Instagram, and just like saying, just like told him that he like wanted to like play it again. He wanted to run back the whole thing again. So he put down $1,000.
Oh, big money match then.
Challenge him. So we have all of that on tape too. We filmed all that. It was called Battle of the Bling, and that happened December 26th. After Christmas, the day after Christmas, these dudes couldn't wait. A day after Christmas, they went at it again, and then the dude who was beat the other guy. So all of a sudden, he got that like, that like good like energy, that like victory that he was always going for.
It sounds fun overall, but what I'm curious to know about is that with hosting these tournaments and doing all the different tournaments you've been involved with and stuff with Stone Gamer, I mean, I'm curious, what is exactly is the end goal? Like, what is through hosting these tournaments, what exactly do you feel like is the big goal for what you guys want to accomplish? Or like, do you guys want to make a statement? Do you guys want to actually put a little bit more good energy out there? Like, what is the end goal?
How far do you want to go? Like the angle for the next, like,
well, the main, like the mission statement, like the main objective. Do you feel like, hosting all these different tournaments and having this thing where people, they smoke weed, they get together, they play games and stuff, like what is the main purpose of that?
So overall, and that's a fantastic question. Like, what is the point of all this? Like, why are we even doing any of this stuff besides just having an awesome, fun, amazing time?
Yeah.
The reason why is because we're trying to change the paradigm of culture right now. We're trying to shift it. We're trying to get people to see life differently. Currently, the society is so wrapped up on fundamentals and on like, I think right now at this point in culture, this has to exist for us to like go to the next level. Because the current path that we're in right now, it's not a good path. It's not a good path. People are so filled with like angst, and anxiety, and that ultimately turns into hate, and that turns into fear, and then of course that goes into other things. So what this does is that it shows that, hey, there's a place out there where people are getting high and playing playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and getting big prizes, winning prizes, and they're having fun. It doesn't really matter what color you are or where you came from, but this is happening. This is happening right now.
Like a big escape.
This is the brighter side.
Like a big escape.
Well, big escape, yeah, but this illustrates the brighter side of humanity. Like, look, the goofy side of humanity, but it's all serious. It's all serious stuff, but it's serious in a different mythology. Like we don't really want to necessarily like have people so hung up on issues that plague them. So we like think that like this is a good kind of like outlet. And not only an outlet, but this has to exist on this planet for people to see that, like, this species isn't so hung up on hatred and frustration and sexual frustration, and all that can subside with this, because this is pure fun. This is pure fun, and it's pure entertainment, and it's pure action, and it's pure skills and ability. Plus, it's I don't know. And there's other reasons too. Like, we also want to push the concept that cannabis isn't harmful. Like, cannabis is so docile. It's actually beneficial.
In support of cannabis overall, in general.
Support of cannabis, and we also want to show that like perhaps like being high and gaming can actually help you. It can help you game. It can like help you think differently. When you're like high and you're playing like a puzzle game or an RPG, you do things differently. You like approach problems differently, and that's because you are high. That's just the exact, function.
So with that being said, though, why specifically through the outlet using video games? Because obviously a lot of stuff that you described and whatnot, people have been also going about it in other ways, maybe implementing cannabis in some way, but like, as opposed to using video games, people choose to do it through music, do it through like artwork, paintings, murals and stuff, or other things here and there. But why specifically for you for video games?
All right, this is the reason, because video games, it's a great entry into the digital plane, the digital realm. It's an amazing entry into that. And of course, games, it's almost like a Trojan horse. It gets you in the door of this digital kind of like plane of existence. And then of course you can kind of like add that, you can add AR to that, VR to that, and then all of a sudden your plane of existence is all augmented, virtual. And then once we get to that point, then I think we could kind of shift humanity, how we want to shift it, and of course it can go the other way, VR is quite frankly frightening in some aspects, like if we have people that have problems, or we have people that essentially believe the earth is flat, like that's a thing now. That's the thing. And it's sad because that's something that we already figured out. We figured that out way back in the day, man. The earth is not flat. People were getting killed over this, hung, burned at the stake. And we finally collectively said, okay, guys, the earth isn't flat. It is, a globular object that's floating in space at whatever, kmph per second. But the problem with any type of like digital creation, digital existence, VR specifically, is that the separation of like truth and fiction. It's really difficult to kind of discern what is truth, So with VR, especially AR, like I think AR, virtual reality, we can replace our own realities and then kind of take this thing off of our heads and then kind of quote unquote get back into this existence. But with AR, I think AR is really frightening because we're gonna really change the like thought process of all these people that already believe in like untruths. They already believe the earth is flat. They already believe that climate change isn't a thing. They already believe all these crazy things. Now they're actually seeing these like almost tangible hallucinations with like AR, and it's like right on their sofa, or it's right on their table. And with people like that, it's going to be difficult to like, kind of like change that like thought process when it comes to like AR and reality. Yeah. But let me get back to the topic, because I kind of like fell a little bit far because I'm really, really high. But no, like so so like ultimately, right, we kind of want to help cross the kind of cognitive barrier between being human and being a part of this digital existence, and we do that through video games and cannabis, because cannabis also enables the brain to kind of like go to different places. And I mean, you wrap that in with like LSD, psychedelics, that's kind of what it's there to do, and that's what digital platforms are there to do, to kind of take you away from reality.
So let me ask you this, because you mentioned difficulties with some of the stuff you were talking about. How is it difficult, for you to actually host these types of events or do these types of things involved with the Stone Gamer outside of like places like California and Nevada? Because obviously now a big topic of discussion and debate in a lot of different places is cannabis, as far as the medical use of it, the recreational use of it, and all these other topics that get debated over on Capitol Hill and other places. I mean, is it difficult to kind of go to a place like New York or go to a place like Florida or anywhere out in like the Midwest or something and host an event like that because of maybe the laws in place, involving cannabis, marijuana, etc.?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, man. We actually had a little something planned for Hong Kong last year, and we were gonna do like a full on like
That's a hell of a trip.
It's a hell of a trip, yeah, to Hong Kong, and the whole plan was that we were basically gonna purchase the herb out in Hong Kong because they have herb out there in Hong Kong, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
But we were also going to build the arcades essentially here and then bring them kind of out over there and hopefully like kind of set up shop very quickly, very discreetly, and have a tournament out there. But our friends in Hong Kong kind of got cold feet, and they just like ditched out on us at the very last.
They backed out the last second.
They backed out. Yeah, we had our plane tickets and everything, and they're like, "Yo, man, we think that," because like one of their friends, like something happened, but so that's a kind of a crazy example. But we've done tournaments in, San Diego. Well, I guess it's all in California, Vegas once. That was okay. Vegas, Vegas is okay.
But outside those areas is what I mean. Like, would you be able to go to like Texas or to New York or, Jersey? I mean,
this began in the like underground. Like this like started underground. So we could really go anywhere and have a event like that. Like that hasn't like stopped us at all. That hasn't. I mean, we like honestly, there isn't a desire to go anywhere else but here. Like California is the place to be when it comes to herb.
Do you think, obviously, when things open up, and, this type of stuff gets figured out, or maybe more laws or state laws are put into place and stuff, that it will allow you to travel to different places here in the United States a little bit more easier and host events? Do you think that'll be better?
I mean, like, and to, like, dude, I don't think it's ever going to, like, be, like, 100%, like, legal. It's, there's always going to be something, like, there's always going to be some like pushback against
it's complicated. It's a complicated issue.
I mean, is it a complicated issue?
I mean, for a lot of people, from what I've done reading and stuff, because again, I don't really look into this stuff on the regular, but like from watching different stuff on TV and then reading up online and stuff, it seems like there's a lot of back and forth with the discussion, obviously, of recreational or medical use of marijuana. But I mean, like in your case, and how it applies to you and stuff, if and when maybe at some point when more states start to loosen up on that, would you be able to at least, be willing to travel to those different places and hold more events and get like more diverse pools of people to compete in these different competitions and stuff?
I mean, ideally, yeah. Without a doubt, yeah. Like the further we go, the bigger the kind of
rather than it just being underground and stuff. I mean,
yeah, but I mean, it's kind of cool being like underground, dude. It's kind of awesome. Like it's kind of awesome, and I mean, eventually we'll like get bigger. Like without a doubt, like it's only getting bigger. But we haven't really thought about that. We have a lot of fun that we kind of want to do here first, and out here in the West Coast. So we don't really have any plans on going to Colorado. I mean, of course, like people hit us up all the time, but we don't have any plans on going to Colorado or any of the other places that open up when rec goes legally. But I mean, eventually, yeah. It isn't at this point, not really. I'll just put it at that. Yeah. At this point, we're fine with California because we have bigger plans. We have plans that kind of transcend, states and like areas of this country.
Baby steps. Baby steps overall.
No, I would say the correct steps. Like I mean, perhaps having events here. It isn't as important as having an event in like Amsterdam.
Well, that seems ideal. Amsterdam. I mean, that's Amsterdam. That's like the capital of the world for people.
Yeah, right. I know. But we're already here. Like we're already here. So, we're trying to go other places like Iceland and like the UK. Like we're already here, and so if anyone ever wants to compete, we're like right here. Everyone knows where we're at. So we're just trying to like extend out to different countries as opposed to different parts of this country.
Very cool overall. So we come to the final question, like what we ask every guest on this show that comes on and talks about what they do and stuff. What is one thing, one statement that you give to everybody that you feel like you give something to the listeners that are checking this episode out, that are going to get some food for thought or walk away from this episode with something? What is one thing that you could tell them?
I would tell them to find the others. Find the others. The others are out there. The others are people that are like yourself, different. And they're out there. But the problem is this planet, it's filled with a bunch of clones, a bunch of people that just don't understand and that don't get it. And they go through life and they just don't even look up. Basically, they're just walking and looking at their feet as they walk through life. And this planet is filled with those people. But you aren't that person. Find the others. Find the others. That's it.
There you go.
Terrence
that's some cool words. Like there sounds like something you could put on like the trailer poster of a movie coming out. Find the others. It's like if you would build it, he will come. Like something like that.
That's it,
but Zeus, thank you for chatting it up with me on the show. Well, now, where can everybody find you right now? You're on social media. You're on Twitter. Obviously, where can everybody hit you up?
Gamer, Twitter, Tipado, Tipado, stnd.gr. That's our website. And Twitch, official Stone Gamer at Twitch, or Twitch official.
You guys do frequent streams over there.
Yeah, every single day, 6 hours every single day. Beginning at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Official Stone Gamer. Follow.
So wait a second. I gotta ask the question. You guys get high on every single one of those streams?
Dude, every day, dude. I've been getting high for the past 8 hours, dude. I've probably had, honestly, about 50 bong hits today.
That is a lot of hits, son. I'm surprised you're not floating right now. Like, actually, float.
I absolutely am. I'm, like, holding on right now.
Just like you don't even walk through the door. You just float in. You just levitate.
I'm like either, man. I just float right in there.
That's crazy.
Like, yeah.
That's dope.
For sure, man.
So, but yeah, I appreciate you coming onto the show, chatting it up with me and stuff and whatnot. Also, real quickly, if we could just touch on it and stuff. What is Middle Easy? Because that's another thing that you're involved with as well. I want to make sure.
Middle Easy, yeah, man. I sold that site in 2015, 2014, maybe. I'm not sure, but I sold that company. That was my old MMA company, and I had a great time, man. I talked to a bunch of fighters. Anderson Silva, Fedor, Ronda Rousey. Just like it's great to be close to that scene. I'm a huge MMA fan, and dude, yeah, great site. Thank you
Nice.
for
Awesome.
sharing that. Absolutely.
Nice, very, very cool. So, but yeah. Anyway, guys, let me know what's up in the comment section below. Tell me if you guys enjoyed this episode. Tell me any of your thoughts about everything that we touched on throughout the entirety of this episode of TK Spotlight. And don't forget to subscribe to the Koalition's YouTube channel for all our videos related to gaming, our podcast shows, including TK Spotlight, the Co-op podcast, our gameplay commentaries, a whole bunch of other stuff. And don't forget, guys, we are on iTunes. You can listen to TK Spotlight on iTunes right now. If you guys can, show some love, show some support. Make sure you rate and subscribe to the show on iTunes and spread word around. Okay, let me know about also guests you guys want me to get onto the show, of different conversations we could have and different topics you want us to touch on and stuff. But with that being said, we will talk to you again very soon. Peace out and stay epic, everybody.